Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I wanted to talk about the League of Legends effect in gaming and how it's gone largely unnoticed in the same way that you might not notice a stealth Teemo in lane until he pops you with a blinding dart and starts spamming auto attacks at you. There are a ton of games out there copying League of Legends business model. I don't mean a few, I mean a whole ton. I'm going to be going to PAX soon, and I can guarantee you when I walk through the indie section and in the up and coming game section, about half of them are going to have a business model almost exactly like League of Legends. The gameplay you're seeing right now is me goofing around with Teemo in lane, but I'm going to swap over to some Riven versus Zed gameplay and some others, definitely many other games, Call of Duty and other things as I talk. But for those of you that are unfamiliar with League of Legends, because this is COD channel, quite a few of you, League of Legends is a free-to-play MOBA that is initially very casual. You pay nothing, you just install this game for free. It's got iconic characters, bright colors, it's very, very casual, very easy to get into, but the more you play, the more addictive it gets, like a lot of free-to-play games, and it has this sort of super competitive sub-layer, this meta layer that's really competitive. You want to really win this game, and it has the world's biggest pro scene. The League of Legends pro scene is just, it's second to none. It's the biggest, craziest thing you've ever seen, and this is a free-to-play game, so all of the funds that Riot Games makes are driven by skin sales. Tons and tons of skin sales. Me personally, my favorite champion is Rammus. I have lots and lots of Rammus skins that I bought, and when you go to the store, you just see that there's sales and skin sales all day, and that's how they make their money. There's nothing inherently wrong with this either. It is a business model that works, that people have taken to, and the game is popular. However, it's been showing up in a lot of other games too. Maybe too many games. Some games it's good, sometimes it fits, sometimes it really makes sense for the genre, and other times it's just kind of silly and makes you wonder, what in the world were these people thinking? But the reason it's copied over and over and over again is because it works and because it makes tons of money, and that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about here today. One of the games that's easy to pick on, one that might be a sort of uneven fit, is Evolve. That came out lately. It is a full-priced $60 game. It is not free to play, unlike a lot of competitive games, or we'll say League of Legends effect model games. They're very low entry price point or free to play or something like that. This one's a full game. It's designed to be casual enough to get into, because you play on it as a team of 4 hunters and you hunt down this monster, or you can play as the monster and play against people. You have 4v1. It's a pretty simple sort of thing. You've got iconic characters. The colors aren't necessarily bright, but they fit the atmosphere of the game. They're very simple, almost cel-shaded, very easy to get into, but the more you play it, the more competitive it gets. It was designed with this very competitive sub-layer for people to go very hard on it, and there's a big esports push I'm going to talk about, but it launched with a ton of DLC. It actually took a lot of flack for launching with that much DLC because it's a $60 game and not a free-to-play game, and there's the big disconnect right there. Most of the DLC, actually I think all of it so far, has been cosmetic DLC, like monster skins or skins for your guns and stuff like that. There's going to be new monsters and hunters later on, in the same way that League of Legends releases new champions all the time, again because it makes money and people will buy it, and they don't seem to have a problem with it. It also has a huge esports push from 2K Games. They want to get this up and going and competitive. 2K Games, or Take-Two, Rockstar, the whole big group there, they want this to be the next big esports game. They want this to be up there with League and Counter-Strike and Dota and SMITE. They want this to be a competitive game, just like League of Legends, with the casual layer that's easy to get into, and the more competitive layer that really keeps people in there. And I feel that this is a misfit really only because it's a $60 price point game. If it were free to play or cheap, like really cheap, kind of like CSGO, people probably wouldn't complain as much about the DLC, and you would get a lot more players flooding in to populate it and therefore make it easy to be competitive. But there's a bit of a mismatch there too. There are also games that directly copy the League of Legends business model. Now, League of Legends is a MOBA. There are other MOBAs that are free to play. You can take a look at SMITE. SMITE is very much so like League of Legends. I know that they probably hate hearing that. It's a MOBA. You play your champions. It's free to play. You spend money on cosmetic items and unlocking things, and it's not unfair, unbalanced, or whatever, but it's third person. It's a different flavor. It's a different game. It's got some different objectives. It's not exactly the same, but it's very similar. And you've got Nosgoth, which again it's maybe the darker, grungier, more gothic version of this, but it's got the same kind of thing going on. Free to play game, lots of microtransactions, and it's got a sort of competitive, sort of casual thing going on. But the League of Legends effect is rolling into other games too. It actually rolled into Call of Duty, which is the game that I play all the time. Call of Duty is at its core a very casual shooter. It is perhaps the most casual shooting game ever made. That's why it's mass appeal. appeal. That's why it's popular. That's why it, tons of people buy it and play it every year. It is very easy to get the basics of Call of Duty. It might be very hard to get really awesome at Call of Duty, which is why recent iterations of the game have had a very competitive sort of meta level. It's very easy to get into play, but then we have ranked play where you can go in and play against each other and level up, or league play in Black Ops 2. There's a pro scene. There's definitely like really hard competition going on to be the best COD player, and the Call of Duty esports scene has blown up in the last couple of years, both on its own and because it's gotten a fair amount of support from Activision, the company that publishes the game. They've had $1 million tournaments. This will be 3 years in a row if we do it for Advanced Warfare. And this is a big thing for esports. Get a lot of streams, a lot of tournaments, a lot of viewers, and this is very much so like League of Legends, except that Call of Duty is a $60 game. It's not free to play. You have to pay to kind of get into it. Now, that's not the main thing here. Call of Duty still has a big casual focus, but recently, especially with Call of Duty Ghost and Advanced Warfare, there's been a lot more skin sales is the wrong word, because they're not like League of Legends, but exo camouflages, player cards, country flags, gun skins, gun camouflages. They're all lots and lots of little cosmetic items, very inexpensive ones, mind you, $1.99, $3.99, maybe $5.99 for a big pack or something like that. And they're designed at nickel and dime is probably the wrong word, because that indicates that you have to buy these extra services, but people buy them like crazy, and it makes Activision a lot of money, and there's no reason not to. It may not be the best fit because it's a $60 game, but there's so many games doing this. You can take a look at Block and Load from Jagex Games. It's a first-person shooter that plays kind of like, I'm going to say it plays kind of like Team Fortress, except you have to build things like Minecraft, and you have bases with nexuses and towers in between, kind of like League of Legends. And it's a cheap game where you can buy into, kind of like CSGO, and it's got a lot of skins associated with it. Like the characters have skins and add-ons and like camouflages for their guns and different little things. So there's a lot of little microtransactions, and it's extremely casual, but then it's got that very competitive sub-layer. They're going for that business model. You also have TOME, which is another MOBA. It's very much so like League and Dota and these sort of things. Free to play. Then you've got microtransactions and competitiveness. Infinite Crisis is perhaps the more casual thing, but it's a free to play MOBA with lots of skin sales. Dawngate, believe it or not, Titanfall almost went this route. When Titanfall first came out, I was talking to some of the devs a lot more closely than I am now at private events, and some of the people around the esports scene. They didn't really want to do the microtransaction thing at all. Like the little microtransactions was absolutely not what Titanfall devs were looking for, or EA or Respawn Studios. But they were really close, teeter-tottering on going the competitive route, to trying to get a pro scene, to sponsoring tournaments and things like that. Didn't really pan out. Of course, you also have CSGO and Dota 2. These are two that I am not going to say copied League of Legends, because their fans are very adamant. My video will get blown up into oblivion. I'll say it's more likely that they have convergent design, since Valve was already playing with these things anyway with all the hats in Team Fortress. And you're probably asking, why is this business model used so much? And it's popular because it works. This business model works very, very well. It makes a lot of money for a lot of people, and generally speaking, gamers haven't had a problem with it. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing today. It's just something that I wanted to talk to you about and make you aware of. League of Legends actually ended up making a lot of money for me. This game is completely free to play. It costs nothing to hop in and play, and it's fair. It's not even pay to win. Like me playing it for free, I have just as good odds as the guy that pays like $1,000. Doesn't matter. And I got free money in this game by recruiting people, yet I still somehow managed to spend about $400 on it. That's embarrassing in a way, but it is a testament to how well the business model works. And again, it's not the best fit for all games. Sometimes a game is better off just being very casual. Sometimes it doesn't need to have a super competitive sub-layer, because now esports is a big thing these days. Didn't used to be very big. Casual was the way to go. Esports is looking more like the way to go now, and that's kind of crumbling away and eroding at the casual nature of some of these games. And sometimes games that should be free to play with cosmetic things, the studio gets greedy, the publisher gets greedy, the devs somebody gets greedy somewhere in the chain, and it turns more into a pay-to-win kind of game. Or sometimes a game where the microtransactions aren't really worth it. Sometimes gun camos I don't think look very good, some skins don't look very good, some cosmetic items are silly. I don't really like paying for emblems. To me that's crazy. I'll use a cheap default emblem. Sometimes it's just not really worth it, and it kind of erodes the game quality, and sometimes it fits just fine. But that's the League of Legends effect. Every game these days wants to be a casual game with iconic characters that has a competitive sub-layer that's fairly cheap to get into, but then has tons of microtransaction skins and camos and paints and all sorts of different things like that. And I promise you, if you watch the next all the games that come out in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to see this again and again and again and again, because it works very, very well. This is not a call to action video today. I'm not here to tell you that this is the worst thing ever, that you need to boycott this or do anything about it. It's just something that I thought I would bring your attention to, something that I thought you might find interesting. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful, and if you did, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Drifter out.